Hey guys, it's Tori here, and so the annual ruckus about the Warped Tour lineup has officially begun. People are freaking out that they love it and they hate it and all kinds of opinions, so today I'm here to share mine. I think every year is kind of different and good or bad in its own different ways, and I think what makes this year good is not that there's so many insane headliners, but it's the fact that you get to see some of the scene's best up-and-comers and some of the scene's best veterans all in one place, which is something that really you can't find anywhere else except for somewhere like Warped Tour. And you know, there's a lot of people that are complaining about how much punk rock is on the lineup, but let's be realistic for a second, you guys. At its core, Warped Tour is a punk rock festival, so if you're complaining about Warped Tour having too much punk rock, you can just scoot on out of here and go find yourself another music festival to enjoy. But for those of you that do enjoy some punk rock and all kinds of different genres of rock music, this year is your year, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I actually have a lot of the bands on the lineup organized by genre on my phone so I don't forget any bands that I want to mention to you guys. So first off, I want to start by talking about the veterans on the tour this year. And I think last year kind of set that precedent of having some really great veterans. We had Good Charlotte and Yellow Card, 4 Year Strong, and a lot of those bands that are really familiar to the Warped Tour world. And this year, they've done it once again. So some of the veterans that I think are total standouts that are making me freak out and fangirl inside are of course Hatebreed. We have Hawthorne Heights, Anti-Flag, the Ataris, Silverstein, freaking Gwar is on the lineup this year, you guys. If you've never seen Gwar before, that's a sight to behold. So that's all I have to say about that. And then there's also Bowling for Soup and CKY. So it is just a powerhouse of bands that are so well respected and well loved in this music scene. So even if you are younger and may have not heard of some of these bands before, if you're interested in finding out what inspires the bands that you love that are coming up now, these are some of those bands that started it all. And another thing I love about Warped Tour is that it's all about philanthropy and education, especially with a lot of the nonprofit organizations on the tour. And sometimes you'll see bands that tend to translate a lot of the messages that you see in the nonprofit organizations into their music on the tour. So if you're really into a band with a really powerful message, you've got Silent Planet and War on Women being two that I think are huge standouts for that kind of thing. So if you want some music with a good message, those are two bands to check out. And the next category here are of course the up-and-comers, and that's something that Warped Tour always does well, is making sure to have a good balance of the bands that people know and love, while also including some that you may have never heard of before, because that is the beauty of Warped Tour, is having the opportunity to check out some new bands that you otherwise may have never seen before, because they just might become your new absolute favorite band. That's happened to me on so many occasions. Some of the bands that I listen to on a daily basis now, I would have never found without Warped Tour. So a few of those up-and-comers that I think you guys are really gonna love if you haven't heard of them already are Bad Omens, Creeper, who is one of my all-time favorite bands that I found out about at Warped UK, by the way, so get on it while you still can. The White Noise, Boston Manor, Bad Seed Rising, and Siler. There's of course many other up-and-comers that I didn't mention, but those are just a few that are on my radar right now that I've just recently found out about that I absolutely love that I think you guys should really check out. And then there's always the people that complain about having not enough heavy music on the tour. It happens every year. Everybody just wants a hardcore festival, Mayhem 2.0 at this point. But Warped Tour last year introduced their Monster Energy Party Zone, and they're bringing that back again this year. And so if you don't know what that is, it's basically 2 stages that are completely dedicated to nothing but heavy music. So if you are a heavy music fan, you can literally stay at those 2 stages all day and just bounce back and forth between the 2 of them and have a jam-packed day of nothing but moshing and screaming and crowd surfing and whatever you all do. And so some of those bands on the heavy stages that I think you guys would really love, if you don't know them already, are Sworn In, 100th, Fit for a King, Being as an Ocean, and then Knocked Loose, who actually isn't in the Monster Energy Party Zone. They're on the Full Sail University stage, but I think they're fantastic and one that you definitely shouldn't miss if you're into the heavy stuff. And then I have my other category, which aren't necessarily fitting in any of my other categories, but they're bands that I'm really, really stoked on that are playing this year. So we have I Prevail, which I actually only know a couple of their songs, but Stuck in Your Head is always stuck in my head, and that song is so good. and I honestly would go to see their set just to hear that one song. And then there's also William Control, which actually he's been in the music scene for a long time. If you remember Aiden back in the day, he was a singer of that band, and now he has his own solo project called William Control, which I very much enjoy. And then there's also Too Close to Touch, who played last year, did super well, and they are certainly on the rise, and I'm so happy they're gonna be back on again this year. And then there's Trophy Eyes, who I actually found out about on Warped Tour 2015, and they're also coming back for another year. If you're a fan of Moose Blood, they actually just did a tour with Moose Blood. So if they're not on your radar yet and you're a fan of like the pop punk genre, they should be. And then good old Never Shout Never, who's one of the bands I saw on my first ever Warped Tour that I went to in 2010. And not only are they playing this year, but they're doing a full throwback set of all the songs that probably were on your MySpace profile back in the day. And then also New Year's Day is coming back, and this is gonna be their first year playing on the main stage, so I'm so excited for them. It is certainly well deserved. And then of course you have your headliners, those obvious bands that are gonna draw the big crowds that are playing the main stage this year that everyone is super stoked on. You have Andy Black, who is from Black Veil Brides, who now has his own solo project, which is very different from Black Veil Brides. You have Memphis Mayfire, Bless the Fall. There's also Attila, which I didn't actually start really listening to until recently, but their last album, Chaos, is so freaking good. And then there's also Neck Deep, who played one date last year and had the biggest crowd ever on the main stage. So as soon as I saw that happen last summer, I was like, they're gonna be on for 2017. There's no way they couldn't be. So I'm very excited that Neck Deep is coming back, and there's some really great headliners this year. So that is it. I have now mapped out the lineup for you into a few different categories depending on what you're into, whether you want to discover some new music, appreciate some of the amazing veterans of Warped Tour, check out some of the big headliners, or just hang out and see a little bit of everything, which is what I personally recommend. But no matter what, I think there's something for everybody on the lineup this year because it's super diverse. There's all different genres. There's even some rap and ska and everything. So if you want to bring some friends that aren't even into pop punk music or rock or hardcore, they'll find something to enjoy. And that is the beauty of Warped Tour, is the diversity and the amazing group of people out there. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, vanswarpedtour.com is the place to be. I am so excited for the lineup this year, and I would love to hear more from you guys about what you think. Which bands are you the most excited to see? Who do you think people should check out? Comment below and let me know, and subscribe for some more videos. I'll catch you next time. Bye guys!